More than 100,000 people visit Central Park every single day. And with the kind of weather we've been having, who can blame them, really?
Yeah, I know. An estimated 42 million visitors a year. Now a new pilot program bringing several agencies, community groups together to improve park safety, right? Here to tell us what we can expect are Deputy Mayors Daughtry and Camille Varlack. Great to have both of you here this morning. So let's talk about this, right? Last summer we saw a spike in crime, specifically around Central Park. The NYPD added more bike patrols and cameras. So how, I guess, is this initiative differing from what we saw play out last year? I'll start with you, Kaz.
Yep. Thank you for the question. Yesterday we did see an uptick last year we did see an uptick in crime in Central Park, and Chief Shell, myself, we deployed multiple resources: bike patrol, mounted patrol. This year, we working with my office along with the Deputy Mayor of Administration, Camille's office, working together with multiple agencies. What we call the Community Link. Camille, you want to go over the Community Link?
Sure. Yeah. Community Link is actually not a new program. It's been in effect for a couple of years, and we have a couple of different locations. But the general idea is we partner with the community and with all city agencies. It's sort of an all-of-government response when we know that we have a particular area where there are lots of challenges. And so we were pleased to partner with the Central Park Conservancy for this one.
Can you talk about the results that you've seen since you rolled out the program?
So we first of all, with the Central Park Conservancy, they gave us a list of things like, what they think we can do to make the park better. And that's what we want to do. Central Park is an iconic park. Everybody knows Central Park in the world. So on the top of their list were things like pedicab task force. You don't understand, I travel around the city and people just do not like those pedicabs. Number one, they take advantage of their customers. It's $8.99 on the side per minute. It's actually $8.99 per minute per person. So that ride can be almost $200–300 depending on how far you go. So that's one of the things that we did. We put together a pedicab task force along with the Central Park Conservancy, putting together park rangers as well.
So safety-wise, though,
yes,
I think crime is down 90% in Central Park thus far.
From last summer.
From last summer, I think we've issued. I think the Park Enforcement Patrol has issued about 681 summonses, a lot of them for pedicabs. They've taken contraband.
So that was my question.
Yes.
Who does the enforcement for the pedicabs? There's some new legislation in the City Council to get pedicabs off the street. I asked the question, who actually issues the summonses? Can they face jail time if they don't pay the summonses? Who's doing the enforcement?
So,
go ahead. No, you go.
The police department, along with the park PEP officers, the park rangers, they issue summonses as well. We put together a task force. The Central Park Precinct is as part of that task force, as well as the park officers, and we have issued multiple summonses. Last year there was one summons compared to this time.
What's the fine?
It depends.
But do you remember, like with the weed shops, right? You'd give a summons, they'd be back open, or whatever it may be, and then you finally figure out a way to get them finally closed. With the pedicab, you give them a summons, are they back on the next day, riding back in Central Park?
It depends. They have to go back to court. They get a criminal court summonses. If they do not answer the criminal court summons, the next time we stop them, they have a warrant. They'll be taken into custody.
So are you going to expand this program to other parks? City parks?
Yeah, so it's not really just about parks, it's really about communities, right?
Okay.
So when we have a loud sound from communities that there are several quality of life issues where we know multiple city agencies should converge, then we bring it to that neighborhood. So we've got one in the hub in the Bronx, we've got Roosevelt Avenue in Queens, we have 125th in Harlem. So wherever we're needed is where we will be.
Okay, I want to talk about another big issue right now, because that is one aspect of summer safety, but NYPD put out their stats and we're seeing a 60% increase in anti-Semitic incidents around the country, right? So around the city. Anti-Semitism, a huge problem. I know that the mayor's office just formed this new anti-Semitism task force, really. So what exactly is that going to do, Deputy Mayor Varlack? And how does that kind of tone down the rhetoric we're seeing play out around this city? And is this a solution to the problem?
Sure. So the solution is not to have hate, right? And we have been focused on that since day one, since we've been within the administration. This particular office was created because as we looked at the number of hate crimes and the spike in hate crimes, it's over 54%. And I think as of 2025, it's even, I think it may be 62 or 63%. So the purpose of this task force is to focus on this very specifically, this particular form of hate, although we are absolutely concerned about all other forms of hate. They are going to be working on making sure that they're looking at education, understanding what's happening out in the street, out in communities, making sure that we are educating people, making sure that we are all the city agencies are focused on enforcing the rules and regulations around anti-Semitism and making sure that we have our New Yorkers feeling as safe as possible.
Yeah, how much does the NYPD have to play a part then, making sure people feel safe?
That's the thing. Perception is reality, they say, right? And we could talk about crime stats, 5 straight quarters down in crime, right? That's what this administration has done. However, we need to make sure people feel safe as well. And what Camille talked about with the new office that was created, I remember being on Columbia University a couple of weeks ago and talking to the Jewish students that are afraid to leave their dorms to go to class, to go to the library, and that's not what we want here in this city. You know, there's no place for hate in this administration. There's no place for hate in the city, and we would do everything we can, whether that to bring you to justice if you are committing a hate crime, also to educate folks as well, because maybe they don't know that what they're doing with the rhetoric, that the toned up rhetoric they're doing is actually causing alarm and fear to somebody else.
Okay, and this is different than the hate crimes task force that once existed and then kind of went away?
Yes, it is. This office is very specifically focused on anti-Semitism, whereas the Hate Crimes Task Force is concerned with broader forms of hate. As I mentioned earlier today, we continue to focus on rooting that out wherever it is.
And it shows how important collaboration is with all the departments. Thanks so much for coming in, both of you.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm guessing you're not riding a pedicab for $8.99 person.
That's going to be a hard no.
Gotcha.
All right. Deputy Mayors Daughtry and Camille.
Unless you guys are going to jump in with me.
No.
We're going to all have to go halvesies.
$8.99 person? No, I'm good.
I'm one of those, not a fan.